So Mass Effect is a pretty fun series, right? Fun space adventure, go out, slay evil aliens, and get the girl. Or the guy, or a weird monogendered species, whatever. Whatever you're into. But I have a pointless complaint that does not matter in the slightest about the series, and I am going to make a video on it because I can. I don't know, I have nothing better to do, and I feel like talking about it. To that end, this is a pointless complaint about the Mass Effect universe, but you might learn something. So I was playing the first Mass Effect game again in preparation for the kind of re-release. I don't know why. You'd think I'd want to wait until that comes out, right? But anyway, there was this random line from Liara that kind of stuck out to me. If you've never played the game, Liara is one of the squad mates that belongs to this monogendered species called the Asari. But whatever, the important part for what I'm talking about here is that Asari are a monogendered species, which just means that they're all, we could say female, although I don't think that term necessarily applies. And at one point, Liara gives us this comment.
I know there are some strange beliefs about my people. I am familiar with the legend of Asari promiscuity, but those rumors have little basis in fact.
The thing is, I don't really think that's up to you, Ara. From your point of view, you're always going to see how sexually explicit Asari are as the normal. That's kind of for everyone else to decide if that's high or low compared to their own species. And I find it impossible that they wouldn't be more promiscuous than what the average human would consider. Amongst evolutionary biologists, there's a theory called parental investment theory, which is pretty simple on the face of it. It's just the idea that the sex that invests more in offspring is going to be what we would consider more nurturing, and what we would also consider more chaste, I guess the right word is. Think about it this way. In humans, what's the bare minimum a guy has to do to be a father? And let's assume complete deadbeat, does not pay child support at all, doesn't even know the kid exists. 30 seconds and kind of a bummed reputation from that 30 seconds. And that's about it. That's all a guy needs to do to be a father. Absolute bare minimum here, remember. What's the absolute bare minimum a woman needs to do to be a mother? That's at least 9 months of her life. So amongst humans, the sex that invests more is women. So they tend to be more what we would consider chaste. This is borne out through an experimentation in which, if you ask random men if they would sleep with a woman they just met versus random women, more men would say that they're willing than women. But among the Asari, this balance doesn't really exist. There is no parental investment theory to go on here. I'm not sure about the entire biology because I'm not one of those people who spends exhaustive amounts of hours on the N7 forums talking about this kind of thing, and I really don't want to know. But the overall point is, this isn't a factor in Asari mating, which means that they're probably going to be what a human would consider more promiscuous, because there wouldn't be any sort of evolutionary pressure for them to be as what we would consider chaste. I mean, I guess it makes sense that Liara would say this sort of thing, though, because it's from her perspective. But considering it's something that humans know now, you'd think that this would be something that Asari would have figured out after after they met a few other sexually reproducing species, right? I don't know, whatever. Ultimately, this complaint does not matter, because the overall point about this seems to be mostly a reaction to the green space girls trope from Star Trek. Which, alright, that works. So, this complaint doesn't really matter, but, I mean, hey, you might have learned something, right?
Give!
Yes, yes, Captain.
I have made it with a woman. Inform the men.